I'm Jeremiah Thoronka, and I'm the founder of Optim Energy.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, you guys get your pen and your pad ready because my guest, Sir Jeremiah, I call him that because he's in the UK. Let him get knighted real quick before he leaves to come back to Salon Bobo. But I want him to give us the game on his energy company. He has recently won an award. Awards are nothing new to him. When you're a genius, this is what happens. You get awards, you get flown, you get treated to the best. So welcome, Jeremiah, to the show. How are you doing today, my bro?
Oh, I'm doing great. Like today was an amazing day, Yeah, today has been like a blessing and an amazing day. Yeah, I'm doing great.
I mean, share some good news with us. Like, somebody out there needs to hear some good news, whether it's fresh or what happened, whenever they catch it. Like, what's going on that was so amazing today, besides God giving us breath, health, and being able to have this conversation?
Oh yeah, actually, I was nominated sometimes back for the Global Student Prize. So the student prize will be happening on the 10th of this month, next week, Wednesday. So all the excitement are building up. For context, the Global Student Prize is an award that is awarded to a student that is having like a huge impact on their environment while they're also excelling academically, environment, community, or society, while they're also excelling extremely well in academics. So okay. I made the final top 10. It's exciting.
Awesome. And if anybody hears that beeping, Jeremiah, that might be on your end. He's real popular. If you're able to mute all those messages, when you're a single young man with all this energy and ideas, they don't leave you alone. They want to know where you are at all times. But if you're able, if not, I'm happy to have the conversation either way. I just wanted the listeners, which are the majority of the audience, they'll say, what was that beeping throughout the whole thing? Why didn't Kellen say something? I'm letting you guys know, but we're going to keep rocking. Can you tell the people and, give it to them in the best terms, because not everybody is at the level that you are at with your knowledge. What is your business all about? What is your, whole mission all about when it comes to energy and cleaning up energy? What are you doing that's new?
So currently, I don't see what I do as a business due to the fact that I'm still prototyping, and considering how connected I am to the problem, For now, it's just prototyping, getting so much data, and then making sure that I continue refining like the whole device to the point when I get something that I'm very much satisfied with. But in the long run, I want to see how, energy can be accessible. That's the fundamental of what I do. That's what I want to see before my lifetime comes to an end, in making sure that, people in the most deprived of places, be it in Sierra Leone or be it in Liberia and Guinea, in Congo, their energy and future is secured. So that's what I want to do, right? So basically, it's still a work in progress. For now, nobody pays anything for whatever, for the energy that they are consuming, because from our end, they're giving us data, they're giving us like feedback on how we can make the whole device more sustainable, more better. So I feel like to some extent it would be cruel for me to start asking them to pay something when they are the one actually helping me in making sure that we develop like a locally made community solutions. Yeah.
Now you say that, and I love the humility. Like you're a humble cat, but when they write articles about you, it's almost like, okay, hey Jeremiah, can you fix this problem now for us? Especially in Sierra Leone, especially in West and Central Africa, where energy and taking it and making things recyclable and developing new things. We look at our trash sometimes as just trash, but trash, as the old people say, can be treasure. So what are you working on where the people can maybe go read one of your books, but I got to get them on the hook first. What are you working on? Like, what are you doing with energy? Are you making it? Are you taking trash and then recycling it? Like, give us what's fun for you to solve these problems of energy that so many have around the world.
I think there is so much anxiety about this whole climate change thing. Many people, all of us, in fact, we're scared that we may wake up tomorrow morning and we're just going to die due to the impact of climate change. But then I come from a community where it's one of the communities that have really suffered on climate change related issues or problems, flooding, bushfire, all those devastating effect of climate change is really manifesting in my community. But then one thing that is very much amazing in all of this is people continue to move, animals move, vehicles move, people move on a daily basis, right? And there's a lot of migration happening from rural settings to urban areas, and as people move, their energy, like the amount of energy that they do need continue growing, their energy demand increases to some extent. So what I do is I want to see how we can use this kinetic energy, these tons of millions of kinetic energy that people exhibit when they move their arm, their legs, or when they run, when they move their car, when they move with their animals, in making sure that that's our own source of energy. So what I've been doing is I've been developing a device that absorbs like this kinetic energy from people, cars, animals, whatever that moves. Then I transform it into electrical energy and make sure like they indirectly power themselves without us going into the forest or going to the mines, extract fossil fuel, cut down trees. So I want to see how we can eliminate all of that. And then we generate our own energy subconsciously without people even realizing, oh, I'm going for a walk. But then when you're going for a walk, indirectly, it's like now you're now producing power for yourself, because as you walk, we are absorbing that your energy, and then we transform it into electricity for you. So that's what we do.
So let's break this down for the people, because what you're really working on is the stuff that, when people watch sci-fi, where maybe when we're, walking, whatever we're doing in the day, and we have these watches. I don't wear a watch, but for the folks who do wear a watch, or the cell phones, that produces energy that we can later tap in and light these lights in our home. Is that where you believe we're going? I'm a futurist, because I read like futurist faster than you think, and everything that I can read on the future, right? So I'm excited about it, but tell me, is that what, do I have it correct, or am I in my own fantasy head? I want to make sure that I got it right. So we could be walking, we could be running. That in the future, which is now, is something where it produces energy for our households, correct?
Yeah, correct. So, and this is the thing, for us, our own device will be installed, right, in areas with high potential. Let's say city centers, hospitals, let's say shopping malls. That's like the area with huge potential for us to absorb the energy from people. Maybe football fields, wherever that we know, like it's a crowded environment, the marketplace. So our device will be installed underneath the ground. So people will be moving. It's normal thing without them even realizing, oh, something is installed underneath this ground. So when they move on the back end, we are doing like, we have our system that is absorbing that energy from them, absorbing it. Then we do our own small engineering on the back end. Then that kinetic energy that they're exhibiting, because like when something is in motion, they exhibit kinetic energy. So that kinetic energy that they're exhibiting, or that energy in motion, that they're exhibiting, that's what we are absorbing with our device. Then our device transform that kinetic energy to electricity for them. So like it's as simple as that.
Well, you say it's simple, but if you ask, you ask somebody like myself, you say, "Hey, create this," and you have, these great ideas. It's not happening. I got to go to Jeremiah. So let me ask: do you think? You already have, proven yourself. Will the first rollout for the public be private devices? Are you more looking at working with, governments and structures so the people don't necessarily have to pay for this or pay so much? Because I would assume if we had a watch or something that did that, and it would cost a lot of money. It would be only for the rich, like, freeways sometimes, and everything. You have tolls here in America. Only those who want to pay extra are going to go on the toll roads. So is it something that will be for the end user, or is this for government is where your focus is at?
It's basically for the end users. Just like I stated when we started the interview, that I'm so connected to the problem. And then being someone who, like, at some point in my life, I lived a life, my formative years basically without electricity, seeing all those challenges, and developing solutions like this. And then to some extent start asking people for money, it's something that for now, I really don't want to do. I'm currently considering like the sustainability aspect. How am I going to make sure that this solution, it's sustainable, it can run itself on its own? It's like a groundbreaking innovation, but then I'm one of those innovators who develop solutions because they want to be listed on Forbes, So my end goal is not how much am I going to save or how much am I going to make from this device. I believe there are other ways that I can make money by really working hard for it. Yes, I'm also working hard for it, but this is just me trying to see how I can take ownership of some challenges in my community and see how I can contribute towards, contribute my skills, my expertise in making sure that we how should I say this? Like we rebrand, the narrative of all these communities. This poor community don't have access to this community don't have this. But then as a young person, changing that narrative is what I'm after. So I'm considering different models. One can be, applying for grants, partnering with already established institutions that fund projects, making it look like a project kind of, wherein, resources, expertise can be exchanged with another institution, making it continuously running, or maybe, who knows, there may be also an opportunity to partner with government, etc. But then for now, I really want to give my all on the device and see how we can really make it very, very much sustainable. Sustainable in the sense more efficient, a better device than the one we had yesterday. So like when we want to scale it up, at least we'll have like 90%, a 90% device that will be very, very much proud of.
Well, when you create something like this and, you're working with, big organizations right now, and I'd like to know, money might not be, why you did this. And for most entrepreneurs and creative people, money isn't the driving force, but you have to have money. Even the scriptures say, money buys all things. Do you focus or even, trademark or copyright your ideas? So let's say you do, you change the world with your business, that you can get a piece of it, so you won't be having to, burn plantains on the road as an older gentleman. Like, is that stuff that you're focused on? Because none of us want to be not doing what our purpose and our passion is. And so you're getting this at such a young age. Are you even focusing on trademarking and saying, this is my idea, let me make sure I protect it with my partners?
Yes, I've been advised to filing for a patent, but it's still a work in progress. However, the kind of patent that I want is just people acknowledging the community where I'm from, saying, "Oh, this is something from this community," and we'll be open to speak to anybody, share the idea, and engage with any other community that may be going through that similar challenge and see how we can replicate our device in their own community. So it's not like a patent that will scare people from like engaging with us. We're very much open to conversations and see how together, as local people, we can solve our own problems from the local level. But then the patenting is still a work in progress.
Okay. And being that, being from Sierra Leone and you got this gift, I mean, before you were 18, you had these skills, you've been, given the spotlight. How do you expect or plan on bringing it back to Sierra Leone, and when? When can people say, hey, I can benefit off of Jeremiah's brilliance?
To some extent, I think people have already been benefiting. When I started Prototype in 2017, I worked with about 150 households, about 1,500 people. I worked with about 15 schools, about 9,000 kids, in prototyping, irritating, engaging. And also I do a lot of research, writing, engagement with institutions and experts within the energy space. I write on youth, policy, equality, energy transition, all those concepts, my work, all my research work is an open access work where you don't need to pay for any of those documents or any of those research papers. They're already available on the net. So I'm of the notion that as a young person, yes, it's perfectly okay to have your own goals, but you can start doing impact, today, tomorrow. You don't have to say, oh, let me first of all maybe finish school, then I can start doing this. So I believe like you can be in school and then you make sure that the ideas, concepts, or skills that you gain in the classroom, you directly start prototyping or start testing the skills and see how you can tailor them to fit the context that you want to use those skills for. So I don't need to, people don't need to wait, to see, oh, in the next 5 years, that's when we're going to see like the impact of Jeremiah's work, because they're already saying it.
Okay, I mean, Jeremiah, you speak almost like an old man. Like I've given, I've given. Now, it's like you have like Bill Gates. If you watch his, old interviews, he was more focused on the purpose than the profit. From what it looks like, it was, there's problems, I want to solve them, and he's still doing it. And for, I think most people, they'll say, well, I want to see what the profit's going to be and where that can take me and what other things I can do. You are doing so much. What is your community give back besides what you've already, spoke about? It seems like your whole life is just now about solving problems for people where you come from and beyond. So what's your community give back that you are doing now that you haven't mentioned, or that you would like to do in the future? Because I just love to pick your brain on how you see the future and, what you're going to be doing.
So in everything I'm doing, I know like most of the work or most of the things I'm currently developing to have a huge potential to generate like a lot of profit, right? So I plan to see how after making energy accessible, yes, now it's accessible. You realize that there is also another layer of challenge that will manifest, how people use this energy, their consumption patterns, how can they access opportunities now that they have access to energy. So just like I said earlier on, I'm envisaging like this whole thing to one like a project kind of, wherein in cases wherein we generate so much energy compared to how much the community needs, we can sell it to government, then the revenue that will be made can be invested in the community, be it on education, be it on building like schools, making the community more environmentally friendly, yeah, just like those. I really want to see how I can have like that really strong bond with local communities and see how how they can really take ownership of their own development. Because what is currently happening is, in most local communities, most people sit back and say, oh, let's wait for the government, or let's wait for this, let's wait for that. I want to see how I can give them like a sense of ownership and say, guys, this is your own problem and you need to solve it. Somebody can come in and chip in for you guys, but then you are the people that really understand this problem than anybody else. You can have your Harvard education, you can have your MIT, you can have your Oxford education, but then the people who stays in those local communities perfectly do understand that particular problem than anybody else. They may not go to school, but then they understand it. So just imagine, now that you understand your problem, you developing your own solution, considering all those things. So I really want to be that kind of person. So yeah, that's something that I'm really excited to see manifest within the next few years.
When you talk about, can you describe to the people the device that you're talking about? Because most people won't know, when the transducer and all that. I don't know if you have a picture or if you have just a part of what you are already using, because I almost see it when we talk about watches. I see your commercial and you have to be in it, where you've been walking, your watch or whatever device lights up, and we play off the Wakanda thing, and then we put it in the wall and everything turns on, and we call it vibranium or whatever, right? That doesn't get us sued. That is, like, to most people, it's over their head. And so they would ask, how healthy is it? Are there any health risks? Will I, be more accessible to cancer or any other diseases when this comes? Because it's coming, folks. You might not even know it. In your neighborhood, it might be there. So, are there any health risks or any concerns that people should, consider while we're talking about this, futuristic technology?
I'm not a doctor, neither did I do medicine at any point in my life, but then I saw firsthand, the health challenges that my peers suffered from when they were using a locally made kind of energy source called pan lamp, when they put kerosene in like a bottle kind of, then they put like a fabric. Then when the fabric burns against the kerosene, it's light up like a place. So that smoke that it emits, made a lot of my peers had a lot of health complication, like lungs problem, like those complicated health challenges that comes with you inhaling photochemical smoke. So by all indicators, there is no way that I'll develop something that may bring something similar like that or worse than that, right? The device itself will be installed underneath the ground, and there will be no how should I say, like toxic chemical within our system. No, it's a no, right? Everything in there will be environmentally friendly, and then even the device, the way it will be developed, will be like a one-time investment thing. So fuel, it's a no-go area. Any chemical, right, that you can think about that will say, oh, this one can pollute the environment, this one will damage this one will have an impact on my health to some extent. It's a no. We don't have any of those ones. And it will be installed under the ground. So whatever is happening underneath the ground, there is no way to impact. It's just like let's say, for example, you see like the markings on the road, right? They're there, right? Just picture it as something like that, but then it's underneath. You go do your business without even realizing that something is here. Yeah,
Mm.
that's how it will be too. Yeah.
Awesome. Now you're solving, the energy and the light problem. Somebody right now might be listening and saying, I want this right now in my neighborhood, wherever they are in the world. What does it take? Is it something, is there even a price tag on it to say, Jeremiah, I want this for my neighborhood, my villa? How much does it cost? What do I have to pay you? And how soon can you be there to install it?
Currently, I honestly don't have like a definite price tag because when I was doing the first prototype, most of the materials that I got, many well-wishers will say, "Oh, Jeremiah, I have this. Can you come and take a look?"
1 second, Jeremiah. Zoom is doing some. What is going on? Oh, sorry, Jeremiah. Can you
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I heard you say start where you said there's no price tag. Something was
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, there's no price tags. That means it's free, Jeremiah. He'll do it for the love. He's going for sainthood, y'all. Like what? Yeah, there's no price tag. But go on, carry on.
Yeah, there is no definite price tag. Reason being because when I was doing the prototype, a lot of the materials that I got were from well wishers. They will say, "Oh, Jeremiah, I have this thing here. Can you come and take a look?" I'll take a look and say, "Oh, there is one or two things in here that I will need, so I can take it out." And so there is not that definite price tag and say, "Oh, this is how much you need for you to develop this." However, I'm trying to I can develop a new prototype wherein outsource the materials myself. So at least to some extent, I'll have like an idea of how much one of the devices will cost against like the production capacity. But for now, like I currently don't have like a price tag.
Okay. Do you have any? Could you give us anything where what was done in Sierra Leone on just with the when you first started this, what that cost to give people an idea? And I ask you just because people will listen to this and they'll ask me. They'll say, "Keep pushing, keep pushing." So in Sierra Leone, what in a range? You don't have to give exact amount, but what it costs for what you've already done.
There was a project that I did wherein I tried to blend or let me say develop something that is an hydro and as well as a windmill, like two in one device kind of. And that device was able to provide power for up to 50 kits, and it cost around 800 to $1,000. Most of the money was from well wishers. That was done when I was in high school. Yeah, I had a team called the MAPAC scientists, and we did that amazing project. Yeah, so most of what I do, again, it's not something super expensive because one, like I don't have that the like that's resources that is required for me to pour it all in prototyping. So most of my energy systems are very much affordable compared to what we currently do have in the market.
Okay, no, this is great stuff. Now, energy, okay, we got light. In Africa, in many parts of the world, even in America, clean water. We saw years ago Detroit had a serious water problem. Do you have anything that can solve the water problem, or a better way to filter, or maybe a quicker way to filter water?
And not yet, but then I am of the notion that energy is the fundamental for global development. When you have energy, there is a lot of things that you can unlock. So who knows? Maybe that's something else that I may consider after this interview and see how we can develop like systems that will be able to sustainably transport water within a long distance without polluting the water system or our environment. Yeah, but then currently I don't have anything like that. But then the future looks bright.
Oh yeah, man, you're young. We're young. The future is, the best is yet to come. The scriptures will tell us. When you know, for this is question is for a young person who might be like you, and they might stand out amongst their peers academically or in something else. Do you find that once you were discovered, whatever that means, right? Are you now then like in this bubble where people are, hey, come speak here, and it's like chess, where they want to use you and put you in front, and you know, then when they don't need you, they put you back. So whether you're a pawn or you're the king on the board, how do you deal with that feeling? Because a lot of people can't handle that stress, and they break down because either they feel, you know, so high at one point, and then regular life they have a problem doing. So how do you deal with that?
For me, as a leader, as a young leader, I'm perfectly okay to serve in whatever capacity I can, right? There are times when one of the most important things that people look at you and say, oh, Jerry have done this, or Kelly has done this, is when they realize like how many people that you really helped to go and reach the standard that you are currently, right? I understand that we live in a world wherein many people want the spotlight, right? But then for me, what I'm doing is I'm not doing it for spotlight, right? I believe like we've just started like a revolution wherein young people wherever they are around the globe have to realize that the unpleasant things happening in their communities, their own responsibility. So if there is a way I can serve another young person in making sure that they do that thing in their community in whatever capacity that I can, be it from the back, the middle, the front, I'm perfectly okay to do that. And for institutions, you know, for many time I'll have people call me to speak on events, and they'll say, oh, he's a hero, he's a this. I'm like, no, I'm not a hero. The credit goes to my local community because they've shown resilience, and also they've embraced open-mindedness in making sure that they contribute what they can, you know, be it moral support, be it emotional support, in making sure that, you know, we develop our own solutions. I may be leading that change, but then I don't see myself as a hero. I see them as the hero of the story. They may not be in the front pages, but then there are times when you're in the back, you know, doing amazing things. You're more than a hero than the person that'll be in the front pages. So being in the front pages is not something that moves Jeremiah. It's normal.
Okay. Now do you feel, since you don't mind playing whatever position, do you feel that you have to get a PhD and they have to call you doctor with a big hat before you fully arrive?
No, I'm actually thinking of doing a PhD. Reason being, there are a lot of emerging concepts and also challenges that I've identified within the energy space, and I feel like doing a PhD will be like the right step in making sure that I continue learning from like experts in the field, while also on my own end, I also continue critically assessing some of these challenges that are arising within the energy space. Unlike like other people, you know, going for a PhD because of the title and stuff, I also value like learning, you know, because some of the things that I've been able to do is based on the skills and knowledge that I've acquired in my educational journey. And who knows like what else I'll learn within the next few years, and what are the crazy things that we'll be able to do as a community. So yeah, I'm exploring that possible, not because of the title, but because of I know it will empower me again to, you know, engage with my community and say, oh, guys, I came across this, and this. What do you think about it? You know, then boom, something great happens.
Now, I want you to shout out your college because it started in 1827. And I want to know, the reason why Harvard is Harvard, right, is because it's people who graduated there have talked about it and they've all come together. But your college too has produced, brilliant people. So can you brag on, your college did for you?
I actually did my undergrad in Rwanda. It was a new college, and I'm part of the founding class. Like, we are the first people to ever attend the college. It's called the African Leadership University. A lot of journalists have wrote about it, and they've tagged it the Harvard of Africa. There are a lot of these cool names, but for us, we don't see it as the Harvard of Africa. We see it as the African Leadership University, which it is. And, there are a lot of amazing things that are happening in that institution. I did global challenges, and I focused on SDG 7. So global challenges is a course that was developed after the Sustainable Development Goals, when students, focus on a particular target goal, crafting a mission of what they want to do within their lifetime. And for me, within my lifetime, I want to see how I can lead a revolution in defining energy systems, doing research on energy efficiency, conservation, etc. I studied in a class with people, who are so much into politics, some are so passionate about gender equality, some are all in for environment, some are all in for conservation, urbanization, agriculture. Imagine that combo of a classroom, where, all these bright minds. And the African Leadership University is currently home to the brightest minds around Africa. We had students from 50 to 54 countries around Africa. So imagine studying in a classroom with a Zimbabwean, with an Egyptian, Sierra Leone, Liberian, you have a Congolese, you have a Kenyan, all the different backgrounds, expertise, realities, context. It was super amazing. So guys, look out for the African Leadership University. We're coming strong,
But you have been going all over with your studies. Is that because your parents were rich? Or is that because you've made opportunities? What I'm trying to show people is, because I kind of know the answer to it, how did you afford to do all of this? Because many people will say, I don't have any rich uncles, I don't have any rich aunties, my parents aren't rich, maybe I'm raised by a single mother. How could I follow these footsteps just with academics? So can you tell the people how it's worked out for you?
I was actually also raised by a single mother, and she passed away just 3 months into my undergrad. So what happened was, when the African Leadership University was launched, right? They were looking for like some of the craziest minds around Africa. They want to see how they can bring them all to Rwanda, learn in this, country with a reputation of how a leadership, how solid leadership can change the history of a country. So when I went to the African Leadership University, the African Leadership University was founded by Fred Swanika. So they had like different scholarship programs. Actually, I was unfortunately not given a scholarship, but then I was given financial assistance. So during my third year, I got a scholarship that was 1,200 from an institution called Wells Mountain Initiative. And Wells Mountain Initiative basically make education accessible to some of the bright minds around the globe who come from like disadvantaged communities. So that's 1,500 in addition to the 2,500 financial assistance that I was given, was what was covering my tuition fee. That was about 4,000. At some point, I had a well-wisher who, because during my first year, my financial assistance was only 2,500. So I had to pay a remaining one of 1,500. I had a well-wisher who paid it off for me, whom we've never conversed, my school only sent in some of my work, and he was like, oh, let me cover, this guy is a bright guy. So it's not like I'm from a rich family, of course, like many of you guys may have read about the civil war in Sierra Leone and the continuous impact it's still having. I'm in the UK today because I got the Commonwealth Scholarship, for a master's degree. I'm currently doing my master's in Durham University, MSc Sustainability and Agenda Development. So it's not like I go to places because I can afford, but then I go to places because to some extent I'm committed to what I do. And yeah, I think that's why I go to places, not because like I can pay.
Well, and a well wisher, I want you to like talk about, did that money just arrive? Because I think of the Ebony song, when you say, some people say a well wisher, he got a sponsor, right? And that was a very popular Ebony song. You guys can look that up on, I'll play a piece. But you guys, I got myself a sponsor. There's a difference between a sponsor and a well-wisher. So how did that work? Did the money just arrive, or did you just go and your tuition was, fully paid, and that's how that was done? And you don't know. It was a blessing by God.
What happened was it was a financial assistance of 2,500, right? They gave it due to my economic background. Why I didn't get full financial assistance, it's because my mom was sick, she had cancer. So there was all this lot of fighting here and there, hospital. So I was actually not paying so much attention to what was happening in the portal. So when I arrived, I actually went, I was invited for an English immersion program that started in July. I didn't go to Rwanda till 29th of September 2017. That's almost 3 months after I was invited, right? And when I came, I explained my situation, and they were like, "Oh, you should have told us this. Now this is closed." So the person just paid for me the 1,000, the remaining cost for my first year. My second year, how did I pay my second year? I can't actually remember, but I think I did some jobs. Like I was doing a lot of volunteering. There are some of these conferences that will happen. They'll say, "Oh, we need somebody to write on this." And I'm like, I can do this. So all those money, I'll put them together. Then I covered my second year. My third year, I got a $1,200 scholarship that I told you about just now from West Mountain. So that was directly covering my tuition fee. So I was left with paying 300. So the 300 I was supposed to pay in my third year was carried forward to my final year. So for my final year, I was awarded the most innovative thinker and entrepreneur leaders award at the African Leadership University, and they waived off for me. The tuition fee. So it's not like I do have this person in the background that is a good guy. I can cover the bills. I don't have that. But then currently for my master's, it's well and good because it's been funded by the UK government and my university. So yeah, to some extent, this is more peaceful compared to what I experienced in Kigali, because you have to cater for food, housing, medical, all of that on your own budget. But now, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And, a mind this bright, ladies, he shouldn't be single for long, especially my African ladies. You'll be upset when he brings back a British woman looking like a Sophia, from a Sophia in London. And you better get him now. He'll have bride price ready. So make sure you guys tap in. Check the links in the description box. Where do you, leave the people with something, Jeremiah, and let them know if they want to contact you about, some great ideas, some thinking, bride price, where they can find you.
Oh yeah, you can look me up on LinkedIn, on my Facebook, Jeremiah Thoronka, and on Twitter at Jeremiah Thoron. I'm always open up to have these crazy conversations with people. And this is the thing, guys, whenever you do have an idea, when somebody tells you this is a great idea, you have to go back and just dump it in the dustbin. Always take the ideas that people tell you this is impossible, this is the crazy one. So when you have those crazy ideas, contact me, we can have conversations, I can give you my expertise, and then we can see how we can share ideas, and in making sure that you really take that idea to a place that you'll be very much proud of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys have been blessed by the game. Make sure if you do nothing else, you share this with somebody. It will change their life. Be blessed, y'all.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.